Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 7 of the NBA podcast. With me, as always, Chris Berger, Leroy Eve. Good morning, fellas.
What up?
This is episode 7. If you go to the YouTube, there is not an episode 6. There was some kind of technical error where that video was lost in time. So there is no. Call this episode 6.57. It's really your choice. So let's start off.
Space-time continuum and just never seen again.
You know, that's actually what I was thinking, but I couldn't figure out what that word was. Like, I couldn't articulate it. Ooh, articulate. I like that word.
I liked that episode. It was good.
I mean, I liked it besides my intro, where I was like, fanatics. And I was like, whoa.
It was still a good episode.
That was solid. So we're going to start off with talking about the record-chasing Golden State Warriors. The Warriors are currently, what are they? They got, how many wins do they have now? They 69, or did they break 70?
So.
No,
I'll look right now.
Wait, it can't be 70.
They have 65.
65.
65 and 7.
Right. 65 and 7. They needed to win 9 of their last 12 games starting last night or the night before. So now they need 8 of their next 11, I believe, to get the record.
What's their schedule like? I forget what they're really
playing. They play the Spurs. They play the Spurs twice. They play the 76ers next, I think. I mean, I think we can all agree, even though I hate our friend Jim, he was telling me records were meant to be broken the other day because I really don't want this Warriors team to beat the record. I really just don't want to.
I don't either. I don't know why. I don't know. It doesn't feel right.
I think it's just the era that we grew up in, you know. In the 90s was Michael Jordan's time. We were born and kind of raised in the 90s, and we just don't want to see, you know, the best player of all time, maybe one of the best teams of all time's records broken. Because for a lot of us to win 6 rings in 7 years, that, you know, besides Bill Russell, you know, his Celtics back in the day, that might be like the most closest thing we've had to a dynasty ever. And we grew up during that time period. And MJ is a lot of our idols as growing up as a basketball fan.
Me and Corey got double because we're Yankee fans, so we got 2 dynasties. There we go.
Yeah, and I've been blessed with the winning organization of the Colts, so I'm used to winning. But you know, they actually only have 10 games left. I misspoke. They have 10 games left. Their hardest matchups aren't even that hard of matchups. It's Sixers tomorrow, Washington, Utah, Boston, Portland, Minnesota, Spurs, Memphis.
It's just those last 3 games I think you got to worry about.
Yeah, well, last 4 games.
Portland can beat them too.
Well, I mean, Portland has a chance to because they already did earlier this season, I believe. Right? Didn't Dame?
But yeah, I think it's gonna be a little bit of a payback game, though. I mean, Dame torched them for 51, and it was kind of a blowout. I don't think the Warriors are gonna come out.
Didn't they play him though again after that game and beat him? I'm pretty sure they played him after.
No, it was the first game after the All-Star break, and Lillard lit him up for 51.
Yeah.
No, but they played on March 11th, and they won. The Warriors won 128-112.
Yeah.
In Oracle.
The Timberwolves almost beat them too.
You got to think too, of these next 10 games, only 2 of them are away games. 3 of them are away games. So
there's 1 in San Antonio, probably.
1 in San Antonio, 1 in Memphis, and 1 in Utah. But Utah has fallen off we gave them so much praise going into the All-Star break.
Oh, yeah.
And that team took a nosedive. Jesus. But
I try to tell you, Gordon Hayward needs to get off that team. Like, I love him, but I wish he was on a better team.
I'll consider leaving the Utah Jazz, okay? If I had a beer, I swear to God, I'd be Gordon Hayward. I swear.
I don't know, man, because some of those teams are like that they're going to play for the rest of the season aren't making the playoffs, most likely. So, they might be like, let's ruin the party. Like, let's try to get a win out here.
Well, I mean,
I think that's how teams have been all year, though. They know they're chasing this record. They started out 20, I don't remember, 23-0 or so they're getting and they're the defending champs. They have a target on their back. Everybody's coming out and giving them their best shot every single game, and they're still taking people down, no problem. But but down the stretch here for teams that aren't going to make the playoffs, they're really going to give 110% just to make sure they don't break the record. Because nobody wants to be the team that is the win that sets the record. Kind of like nobody wanted to be the pitcher that gave up Barry Bonds' record-breaking home run. Like nobody wants to be that team. Nobody wants to go down in history as the team that gave up, the record-breaking win.
True.
I mean, there's only 3 teams of their last 10 that aren't playoff teams. That's Sixers, Wizards, and I don't know why I'm hitting a mental block. Utah's borderline playoff team, and then
is Memphis still in it?
Yeah,
Memphis has been playing better the last week or so.
And then Timberwolves. Because Lance Stevenson.
Lance is nice.
He's getting minutes, and he's taking advantage. I love it. That's what I like to see.
Memphis is fifth seed. They're above the Trailblazers.
Exactly. They're not going to do anything in the playoffs because – but I love the fact that in the first round we're going to see most likely a Memphis and Clippers showdown. And those teams hate each other. And I love that they're playing.
And Lance is all fired up since they traded him.
Right.
The Jazz could sneak in, dude. They're tied right now with the Mavericks.
Where are the Rockets? Aren't the Rockets close too?
The Rockets are in 7th it's 29.5 games ahead of what do you mean? Like below the Warriors, but the next team is 30. And the Jazz at 30. It's Rockets, Jazz. Rockets, Mavericks, Jazz.
Yeah. So there's 3 teams separated by a half game.
Yeah, and then the Trailblazers are up by a game and a half.
I think the issue, too, with the Mavs now is Parsons is out for the season with knee surgery.
Yeah.
So that's a blow. So
even if they make it
the playoffs. Exactly. And their best bet to even move on was to be a 3 seed. Because there ain't nobody beating the Spurs or the Warriors in a 7-game series. If you're an 8 or a 7 seed, you might as well just pack your bags because you're not going to go anywhere. But I think, even playing the Thunder as a 3 seed, you really don't want to play the Thunder either right now.
That's a series that you're probably not going to win either.
Not in the first round, no.
Yeah.
Durant's got 57 straight games with 20-plus points or more.
Maybe
that's a bad man.
Maybe you steal 1 or 2 of those at home, but you're not going to force anything spectacular in that.
Definitely not.
Yeah, right. If the players are right now, it'd be Blazers and Warriors. Not Warriors, Blazers and Thunder. And that'd be a good series.
That would be a good series. I wouldn't mind seeing a Blazer-Thunder series. They lose in probably 5.
Yeah.
But
I'd say maybe push to 6. I say they snag.
But it's Lillard and McCollum against Durant and Westbrook.
But I feel like the Blazers use their people more than the Thunder, though.
They do, but they still live and die by their 2 guards.
Yeah, true.
They do. And I think McCollum's been slowing down this past couple of weeks.
But still, we
haven't seen any huge numbers.
We still gotta apprite what they've done this season, though.
Oh no, they.
For sure.
Like that commercial that Dame did before, right around the All-Star break, where he's to all the haters who keep doubting me, thank you. Because I'm not going to lie, did any of us think they would even be an above 500 team?
Hell no.
No. We thought they were a lottery-bound team.
After unloading Aldridge, getting rid of Batum, Wes Matthews is gone. The whole core of that team is gone.
Yeah. And then we didn't know what CJ was going to do. CJ was just average. CJ stepped up.
He showed flashes last year that he could be a good player, but he was only getting – because he had to deal with being behind Wes Matthews and Lillard to get guard play minutes. He was only playing, 10, 15 minutes a game. Now that he's getting real NBA minutes, he's showing that he can, put up 18, 20 points a game.
That was a nice team, too. Batum was nice, too.
That was a good team for a few years. They were a good young team, and all their pieces were built around each other together. They all came up together.
Yeah.
Where are we? What?
We're talking about the Wizards. Not the Wizards, the Warriors.
We didn't finish the Warrior talk, did we? Or did we just fucking segue the fuck out of that?
But we talked about what their schedule was, and they were like, well.
Oh yeah, okay, right. I think they're gonna get it. We got to finish up this topic, wrap it up. I think they're gonna get it. They're probably gonna finish right around with the same record as the Bulls. They actually probably will be. They're probably going to get 74-9, I'm going to say, right?
It'd be 73-9 or 74-8. 82 games.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say 73-9, one game.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I think if they can get it before the last game of the season, then they'll rest.
The only way they beat the record though is they have to beat the Spurs one of those games.
I mean, they could lose both games to the Spurs and still break it.
They could tie it.
No, they only have 9 losses at this point, right? They have 7 losses to this point. So if they lose both games, they'll only be at 9.
Right, so they will beat.
But then they wouldn't be able to lose any of the other games though.
I mean, the only other games that I really see as a threat is the Boston game. Even though they've been struggling, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So I'm just going to hold off on that. And then Memphis could steal one.
At home, maybe, but
Memphis grinds out against them. But
you think the Spurs play everybody, or no, they rest some people?
No, actually, I didn't even think about that. Pop might say, fuck you, I'm not playing nobody.
Because I read something today that he was going to rest people tonight's game too, but I don't know who they're playing tonight.
It depends. If they're still undefeated at home, they ain't resting anybody in that Warriors game.
That's true. He's not going to give up a record.
He's not going to give up, the undefeated home record. So he might rest in the game at Oracle because it's hard to beat them at Oracle as it is. And he might just say, you know what, we'll give them our best shot with what we got, but I'm just going to rest up for the home game and the playoffs.
Because you got to think about it, too. The 1-2 seeds in the West aren't changing.
No.
It's locked up. So if you're Pop, you can rest, or maybe Pop. I didn't even think about this. Pop might rest guys up until the Warrior games.
It's very possible.
Let me look at that schedule real quick.
And then just say, I'm going to bash out the Warriors to finish this season. Because you got to think about it. The last game, there was no Iggy, there was no Bogut, and there was no – I don't think the Spurs are missing anybody. I think
what's the Spurs record right now, though?
The Spurs record?
Yeah.
The Spurs have.
I'll tell you right now. It's 61-11.
Yeah.
61-11. If the Spurs went out, they would only miss the record by 1 game themselves. They're 3.5 back of the Warriors, and nobody's talking about it. The Spurs are close to the record.
It's on.
They obviously
it's on here, though.
They already have 11 games lost, but if the Spurs won out, they would only be 1 game shy of the record themselves.
And you got to remember this, too. Right now, the Spurs haven't lost at home at either, and they're 37-0. The Warriors are 34-0.
They got a pretty decent schedule, though, Spurs.
The Pop rests players. Like, they're that good this year, and they're resting their starters, and they're resting players all the time. So if he played his players every game, they might break that. There might be 2 teams this year that we could be talking about breaking that record.
You think they win off 1? Like they get off by 1 or no?
No.
They went out? No. They have to play the Warriors twice. I don't think they beat the Warriors twice.
Because
they play the Thunder twice too.
For them, the record's already missed, and they got 2 games against the Warriors, 2 games against OKC, and then you got a grueling playoffs. So you really want to push yourself when your formula has been working so far this year. He's not going to change anything.
And you got to look at it from the standpoint of age too. The Spurs are the oldest compared to the Warriors and the Thunder, so you got to try and keep up with the youth. So you're gonna have to have fresher legs come playoff time.
Their last 10 games is no joke, though. They got some pretty good teams.
It's Thunder twice, Spurs twice. They play Portland too, I think, right?
Something like that, yeah. I think so. The Spurs have the Thunder, Grizzlies, Pelicans, Raptors, Jazz, the Warriors twice, the Nuggets, and then the Thunder and the Mavs.
I don't play
the last game.
It's a tough stretch.
The Raptors. I know. They get breaks, though.
It's a good test for the playoffs, though. I mean, you're playing a lot of good teams. A lot of those teams are playoff teams, which is what you're going to be facing the rest of the way. through the season. So they have to, it's a good test for them to see if they can rest players, if they can't rest players, what they're going to do, especially once your legs are tired this late in the season. But Pop seems to figure it out when it comes time for it. So.
True.
All right, so vote it up, fellas. Burger record, yes or no?
1 game, 73-9.
I agree. Leroy.
I agree with him.
All right, so we're saying 73-9. We'll probably address this same topic next week as well.
They'll win out and prove us all wrong, and they'll be like 75-7.
What's the CenterCourt's record now? I'm guessing things.
The only game we had right was that last Spurs game.
Yeah, and Leroy, we were wrong in that Portland game, so now we are. we picked the Celtics game right. No, you got that wrong.
Hey, listen, I say a win's a win for the court.
You're 1-6. I'm 2-5, and you're 1-5.
1-5.
Hey,
yeah,
tough. All right, so now segue into should the East even show up to the playoffs? That's basically what this is. No, let me start off my little rant here. The East has no chance to win any finals matchup this year. I don't care who's in the finals. I don't care if it's Warriors, Spurs, or even if OKC somehow makes it. The Cavs, the Raptors, the Celtics, the Pacers, the Heat, none of those teams are winning a chip. None of them.
Well, I could agree with you because the Raptors fall off in the playoffs all the time.
Now let me finish my rant. I am not done yet. I am not done yet.
I was agreeing.
First of all, the Cavs are complete disarray. That team has lost their identity. That team has lost confidence in each other and in themselves. Like, yes, I know 2 games prior to the Nets loss, they set the record for most assists in 2 games from any Cavaliers team in Cavalier history. Congratulations. You lost to the Nets in Brooklyn when LeBron James was 13 for 14 going into the fourth quarter.
You had a 15-point lead.
Who did?
Or didn't they have a lead? Did they have like a 10-point lead? Oh. They got outscored by 15, though, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. They lost. The Nets went on a 14-0 run to end the game. I'm sorry. It's playoff time. You need to step up and start playing. Second off, the Raptors. That team is I don't want to say it's identical, but worse than the Kevin Durant and Kyle Lowry team in the West. They are the equivalent in the East. It's either DeRozan or Lowry, and when Lowry was out 2 nights ago against the Celtics, that Raptors team was awful without Lowry. Follow-up. Heat. Everyone was saying maybe Miami could overtake the Cavs. Maybe Miami could be the team from the East. Then they played the Spurs, and they got blown off the court. Blown off the court. It was 112-88. Like, are you kidding me?
Kawhi had to leave early. It could have been worse.
I can't believe how far apart the East and West is.
It's always been that way.
No. At the beginning of the season, we were saying it's crazy how tight the Eastern Conference is and how the Western Conference has more below 500 records. And that was like 25 games in.
Yeah, it was like a quarter of the way through the season.
Yeah, and the script has completely flipped the last month and a half, 2 months. The East is by far a giant field length away from the West, the top teams in the West. I mean, the Cavs could beat most likely the Thunder in a 7-game series, but I don't think any team in the East beats the Spurs or Warriors. End of story.
But I mean, like we said, though, a lot of the high praise we gave the East was a lot of unexpected early season success, and the East kind of got spoiled. Like the Knicks were playing pretty well; they were in the hunt. Orlando was playing really well. Detroit was playing well. There's a lot of teams playing well that were a couple games over 500 that you were surprised with. But at the end of the day, it comes down to what are we really expecting the East in 1 year to flip and all of a sudden have 6 quality teams? No, but we were hoping. But then at the second half of the season, the East has shown their true colors, what they are. They've been the lesser conference ever since the Celtics, that the Big Three got disbanded, and the West has just taken over. And the bottom of the West this year isn't as strong as it has been, but that's also because the West is so much deeper that they beat up on each other all season long.
There's a lot of injuries this year, Anthony Davis being out and etc.
A lot of injuries, but I mean, you take the bottom 6, 7, 8 seed in the East, the West, they probably beat the 3 seed in the East. They probably beat anybody besides the Raptors and the Cavs, and they might even beat the Raptors in a 7-game series.
I think the Celtics are a 6 seed in the. Well, they're like it's so tight in the East.
It's so they flip flop. They were 6th. They flip flop back to after the Raptors win. They were back up to 4th. I don't know what they are now. I don't know what their last.
They're 4 right now.
Yeah, it's so tight with up in those spots. They're just everybody's flip flopping depending on how you win and when you lose.
Yeah. The 3, 4, and 5 are all tight.
But even not only should the East not show up, but the other teams besides the Cavs and the Raptors probably shouldn't show up either, because that's probably going to be your Eastern Conference Finals. Right now, and I was looking last week when we were doing it as the Bulls being the one team that's lower that could make the run, and then they lose 2 games terribly to the Knicks.
It's awful.
As of right now, the Bulls are 3 games out.
And that's what I'm.
They are.
And the main problem that I saw with the Bulls, which is what I was talking about last week, is that defense. You cannot give up 2 games against the Knicks, who have been struggling terribly since they were 21-21 this season. And they've dropped so many out of, I don't even know what it is anymore. They're terrible. A team that's barely getting to 100 points, looks lost in their own sense on offense with the triangle. And then, Chicago's defensive identity is gone. When you give up 100-plus points to that team 2 games in a row, when the offense is extremely simple and it's Carmelo or bust, and you're still getting beat because you can't stop them, and you didn't. They didn't break 100 in the second game. The only reason they broke 100 in the first game is because Mirotic caught absolute fire in that fourth quarter. And if it wasn't for him, that game would have been 115-80. So the Bulls just look lost, and it's just with all the talent they have on that roster, there's no reason that they should be that low in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. They have injuries, and some of the people come back, but I don't know.
They're not hurt right now.
I know. You lose once to the Knicks, but then you got to be all right, come on, we got to beat these guys. It's playoff time.
I saw something actually. Do you know Derrick Rose? What the hell word was I trying to say? Derrick Rose is having the best second half. His second half numbers for this year are identical to his MVP. Jimmy Butler played in both those Knick losses. Check easy.
Jimmy Butler came out and said that I'm hurting this team because I'm not playing well, but you can't. Just 2 games and you're fighting for a playoff spot against a team at the bottom of your conference that hasn't played well since midway through the first part of the first half of the season. You can't lose those games both by 10+ points.
At this point in the season, you can't do it. At this point, either way, though, now if you're the Cavs, you don't want to play Detroit right now. Detroit's been hot.
Yeah,
they're on a 5-game winning streak. Drummond's rebounding up the wazoo again, and they're starting to get some cohesion between Tobias Harris on that first unit again, or for the first time since they traded for him.
The Bulls, not the Bulls. The Pistons are dangerous, man. They got a nice team.
But the thing you have to worry about them is they're young and inconsistent.
Oh, of course.
Especially when you have Drummond, who's a 36% free throw shooter, and as much as you hate to see it and hate to think about it, when they get in the playoffs and it's a close game and these top seeds are worried, they're just going to hack them. They're going to put the bottom of their bench in and just give up 5 fouls each, and they're going to make him go to the line 25, 30 times, and he's going to make maybe 10. The season percentage is 36. I don't think he's going to make 10 out of 30 in a game. And they're going to make him shoot free throws. And that's your problem. Because nobody in the East has an answer for him on an individual for Drummond. Nobody has an answer for him on an individual basis.
Because there's no centers. There's no big-time centers.
There's no big guys.
Which is the issue. But you look at the East, and it's just there's nothing. Like I watch the Atlantic Division, so I watch a lot of Raptors and Celtics. I mean, the Hornets have been a surprise. Their last 20 games, they're 15-4. They've actually had this.
Too.
They've had the second best record since the All-Star break. I mean, they're healthy. Al Jefferson's back. I mean, they don't have MKG, of course, but Batum's solid.
Kemba's playing well.
He's having his best season as a pro so far.
Jeremy Lin
has been insane for Charlotte.
Dude, they keep getting better every year.
Well, last year I wrote an article for OTG Off the Glass Basketball, and going to the season, when they got Lance and everything, I thought that team was going to be a top 4 seed in the East. I was thinking, with Kemba, with Lance, with Al Jefferson, and then that team shit the bed. But they upgraded because they got Batum instead. And Batum's
clutch.
He's great.
The only thing is, but Batum was only a 1-year deal. He only had 1 year left on his contract. So after this year, he's gone.
Possibly. I don't know. I don't know if he's happy in Charlotte.
He could resign, but in all likelihood, he's going to test a free agent market.
I mean, who knows? Obviously, you got to test it. I think he's 29, 30. He's in the prime of his career right now. You got to test it.
Where do you think he goes?
I think it depends on where the big names go first.
True.
Somebody like Batum he's not going to be high. He's not going to be as high on priority list because there's a lot of big guys that are out with all the money coming in the salary cap next year.
I mean, I think Batum, to be honest, would be great on Chicago.
He's a good defender. And he's a good 3-point shooter.
That would go great again alongside of Butler.
This dude on here says the Rockets, but I say no because they already have Trevor Ariza.
They have Ariza and they got Sam.
So
he's not going to the Rockets.
Yeah, there's no point.
Ariza's not that old.
Yeah, he's not old. Ariza's still good.
He's not terribly old. He's just slow.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind Ariza on my team.
Ariza's only 30 years old. He's not even old.
He was a Knick at one point.
Who do we have tonight in the NCAA games? I'm going to answer. 30 is not old. 30 is the prime of your career. LeBron James is 30 years old.
Yeah, Curry's about to be 32. So
Curry's 28, yeah.
I mean, 30 is old when you come out of high school and you've already played in the NBA for 12 years, but if you're a guy if you come in
This dude is crazy. Get him out of here. It's crazy.
All right. I'm going to answer.
22, 23, then 30 is not that old.
I'm going to answer the NCAA question because I watched the games last night when Syracuse and Gonzaga, and
I can't even watch it anymore. Duke lost, so I'm just tight.
My Hoosiers got beat by UNC bad.
Duke is my team, but I had no expectations going into the tournament. I had them out in the round of 32, so I can't even complain. They weren't that good. Once Emil Jefferson was down, they weren't the same team. They're done.
Who plays tonight? It's Oregon, Oklahoma, and Kansas and Villanova. It's funny. This could be really a year where all the 1 seeds make the Final Four because I'm picking Oregon and Kansas. It could be an all one seed.
If Nova plays the way they did Thursday night, Kansas is in trouble. I mean, they shot 12 of 15 from 3 in that game, and I can't remember who they played. I don't remember who they played. It was a 30-point game. And they're the 3 seed. So, I mean,
I'm pretty sure the coach of the other team.
Oh yeah, it was Miami. Yeah,
he was like they shot 15 threes.
15 threes.
I swear they shot 30.
25 of 30. Yeah, they only shot 15.
Yeah, I'm going with the 1 seeds. I'm saying it's a Kansas.
I mean, Kansas is the most complete team. They got inside.
They're the hottest team right now.
They got inside, outside. They got a lot of senior talent. Perry Ellis, Wayne Selden. All these guys are, have been there for a couple of years. All their one and dones are gone. They got rid of Cliff Alexander and Kelly Oubre. So all these guys are mature. So it's looking like them. But don't count Nova out. This isn't the same Nova team that we've seen the last couple of years that gets routed in the first or second round. And they're hot. They're hot too coming into this game. I mean, Kansas is probably the favorite, but if Nova shoots the way they shot the other night, it's a flip of the coin.
Do I agree with 2 points per? Yeah, those are two great matchups. But Oklahoma with Buddy Hyde or
Buddy
Hield, Oregon, Kansas. I mean, if you look at how they've played throughout the tournament, all four of those teams have blown out the teams they've played for the most part.
Dude, you know who I was impressed with though this year? Like everyone was too. Yale. They played good.
They ruined my bracket. Screw Yale.
But still.
I'm thinking Oregon impressed me then against Duke because they were everybody's saying they were a soft one seed. The Pac-12 wasn't that great this year, and watching them play, they're a complete team. They have everybody that was on the floor for them can play. Yeah. And they're another team with a lot of older players on it. That's a collective team, and they're big, they're physical, they're athletic. They're a very tough matchup. And if the thing with them though is if they can shoot, like they're a very inconsistent shooting team. But they're athletic and they push the tempo. And if you try to play their game, you're going to lose.
Oregon reminds me a lot of the Golden State Warriors with their ball movement.
Yeah, well, it's a whole team game with them.
Well, exactly, and it's a lot.
With Oklahoma, it's Buddy Hield or bust.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's why I don't think Oklahoma wins. It's a simple fact that it's
he's got to put the whole team on his back.
For the most part, it's kind of like the Indiana Hoosiers. It's Yogi, and then you have Williams, who's okay.
Bryant, who's all right.
You have a lot of streaky players. So when you're going against UNC, you're like, all right, no. And Page last night, that boy was on fire. That boy was hitting everything from three to start off that game. I think he was 4 for 4 from three and like 5 or 6 from the field going into the half. And he came out the half shooting another three. He was like 6 for 6 at one point, I think. He was on fire. That man was ridiculous.
Especially a guy that shot in the low 30s this year for three.
That's another streaky player. We're going to segue back into our last topic of the show. LeBron James and the Cavaliers.
His niggas.
I feel like last week we talked about the same thing. Another overblown LeBron James story. Because it's fucking LeBron James. He has to suck his dick all day long.
All right.
His dick was on television.
But we have to talk about it.
We have to. I
don't know if you guys read the Howard Beck article about the Melo and LeBron relationship. I read it. All 6,000 words and a good half hour of my time. It was a great read, though. It's cool how you see their friendship. And then, of course, you have to put out that LeBron wants to play with his dream team.
Hell yeah. Who wouldn't?
I don't know. But I'm saying that, like, you're in the middle of a playoff race. You're going into the playoffs.
But still, come on, dude.
Put it in context, though. The interview that was held with LeBron, this was taken from an interview that happened during All-Star break.
Yeah, no, it was 6 weeks.
And for whatever reason, Bleacher Report wants to release it now because LeBron James is already in hot water. So let's put it out and make it more of a story.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even the whole interview was based around that question. It was one question that the interviewer led him into. It's 5,800 words into the article.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was funny the other day he put out that video and he's eating a banana. And he's like, "Hey, LeBron, eat a banana. You gonna slip on a peel out of Cleveland or something?" Like he's making fun of it. It was pretty funny though. I mean,
I don't think it's a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
I don't think it's a big deal either.
I'm gonna go out and say, all right, I'm not gonna go out and say that I completely agree with what I'm about to say. LeBron James, leave Cleveland. Please leave Cleveland.
Let's just do it.
Get out of Cleveland.
It's a lose-lose situation for him.
I get it. You wanted to go home. You wanted to win a ring for your hometown. He ain't happy in Cleveland. He's not. I don't care what anyone says. That man is not happy in Cleveland. He messed up by trading Wiggins for Kevin Love. The best thing he did was sign a 1-year deal. That was the best thing he did because he has the option to leave again. Honestly, LeBron, leave Cleveland, Go back to Miami.
His problem is he doesn't want to be a villain again. He hated being vilified, and he didn't. That's his first year in Miami. He struggled because he hated being the villain, and then his second year he kind of adopted and kind of got used to it. Like, all right, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna fuel myself with it. You don't like me? I don't care anymore. But his first year, he cared that people didn't like him. It affected him.
When he first left Cleveland, I was one of the biggest LeBron haters. I'm not say a hater. I disliked him. I respected his game, disliked him as a person.
I agree. I was in the same spot.
And then that first year, he lost in Miami in the finals to Dallas, and I was like, "That's some humble pie. Eat your humble pie. Take a little bit. You made a super team. It didn't work out the first year. Eat some of that." And then the next year, I'm gonna say probably halfway through the year, when he like embraced the villain role, like you were just saying, I started to respect him more. Like he wasn't the crybaby that he was in Cleveland. He played Boston.
He started having fun. He started smiling again.
Yeah, and to be honest, ever since then, I haven't had an issue with him. But I think he gotta get out of the toxic Cleveland. Nothing good happens in Cleveland. Nothing good happens in Cleveland.
He doesn't agree with the owner either. Like the owner,
I mean, that owner was messed up too. The shit he did.
You can't take back the letter that he wrote. Like those feelings don't go away, and LeBron doesn't mesh with any of the guys on this team. You know, he's got no ties there. He's got no teammate. Like, you know, Tristan Thompson is the only one that you can really say he might be friends with. They share like the same agent and all that, so like that might be his boy. But
him and Tristan are decently close because he was adamant to the Cavs organization that they better sign Tristan. No matter how much money it takes, you sign Tristan Thompson. But, you know,
I think the one thing about the article, though, now everybody's like, oh, I know the salary cap's going to – he wasn't saying next year he wants to do this. He was saying at some point –
end of his career.
He said at some point before the end of my career, I would like to play with all four of us on the same team. He wasn't saying, let's get this done in the next 2 years so we can
And he said – 2 to 3 years playing with them. You could play with them when he was between the ages of 35 and 38 if you wanted to.
Yeah. And he said he'd take a pay too, so.
Well, yeah.
Like I said the other day, I would take a bag of Doritos and a Gatorade to play on that team.
I just like that whole thing when it was like Melo was like, I see why they were telling me to take 3-year deals because everyone was doing it. And I was like,
did you read it?
That would have been cool.
Did you read it too, Leroy, or no?
I think so. I read a little bit of it. I don't remember if
I told you a lot about it, so that's
yeah.
But this is what these guys did. They all chose to take shorter deals so they'd all be free agents. So when it came up, they could do this type of thing.
I mean, you got to think about maybe. All right, so Wade and LeBron are free agents this year. Melo 2017 and Chris Paul 2018. So it's all within the next 2 years.
So they can sign 2-year deals again.
Right. So LeBron Wade signed a 2-year deal. Melo, when his contract – or maybe they signed another 1-year deal. And then Melo, LeBron, and Wade talk about something, and they go somewheres. And then when Chris Paul's deal is out the next year, he goes somewhere.
But can Melo waive his thing or no?
He can waive his no trade.
I mean, I saw some dumb –
Do they have – either one of those two have options on there? Like, is it like 2018 the first year or 2017, 2018 the first year they can go to free agency, or do they have like the option – and that's the year the option kicks in?
I think 2017, Melo might have an option. I think Chris Paul's straight to 2018. He doesn't have an option. He's just straight. He signed a 5-year deal or a 4-year deal, something like that. I mean, it's – I really just – I don't know where they would play anyways. I was talking about this the other day.
Somewhere warm. That's what Melo said. He wants to go somewhere warm.
I mean, the only thing all 4 of them now are getting houses in L.A., and the only team out in L.A. that's going to have enough cap space and enough roster room to sign all 4 is going to be the Lakers. But then, like, if you're LeBron, do you really want to go to the Lakers? No.
No.
And you ain't going to the Clippers. So then the only logical choice after that is
Sacramento?
No. No one goes to Sacramento.
Oh, hell no.
It's in California and it's warm.
Yeah, but those uniforms and that stadium and that ownership, you ain't going to Sacramento.
No, there's no way they go to Sacramento.
We all know who has money, but it's still cold up there.
They're going to end up going to Miami.
Pull their money and they start their own franchise and they just draft themselves.
I'm just saying, just make Philadelphia a dream team. They have so much money.
It's either honestly, to me, it's either New York or Miami that they go to. I think
New York would be nice.
I think Miami is a long shot because Pat Riley got very sick of LeBron very fast.
Yeah.
He didn't like the antics. He didn't like the it's all about me, the way he left, the way he came, all that kind of stuff. He didn't like Pat Riley's a no-nonsense type of guy. He wants no bullshit, no everything straight up. Like, I don't want to deal with any of this he put up with it for 4 years because he got him 2 titles,
and 4 finals appearances.
Hey, man did his job.
But at the end of the day, somebody was saying Pat Riley was like almost kind of relieved that like LeBron left because he didn't have to deal with him anymore and all the drama that comes with having LeBron on your roster.
All I'm saying is too, I saw a dumbass meme the other day. It was like a picture of LeBron, Bosh, and Wade. It was like planned super teams. It was LeBron, Irving, Love, and then LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. And then underneath it was Rodman, Pippen, and Jordan, and then Shaq, Fisher, and Kobe. It was like the difference between planned dream teams and dream teams that just happen. And I'm like, all right, first of all, that dream team didn't just happen. They signed Rodman, and the Lakers went out and signed Shaq. So it wasn't like they were like, oh, it just happened.
Hey,
oh,
maybe,
God.
Maybe Shaq will
and
work.
honestly,
even if you want to go before that, when you look at the Lakers back in the day when they had like Worthy, Chamberlain, and like some like I think it's wrong era, but like you know what I'm saying. Like at one point they had like the Lakers had like West, Chamberlain, and I think maybe Kareem at the beginning of his career, something like that. And then all of a sudden, in the '80s, it turned to Worthy, Kareem, and Magic. Like,
well, Kareem started out in
Milwaukee. I know that. Yeah,
Milwaukee. Yeah, you traded for him. So,
but I thought it was and. Like LeBron's been in the last 5 finals. I'm not sure how he's failed. He's gone the farthest he can go in the last 5 years.
He's been in the last 5, and I think he's in 6 of the last 7.
Yeah.
His second to last year in Cleveland, he made it to the finals.
No,
and he puts it all. And he puts it all out.
You're way off.
Those were the Celtics years. My bad.
He was supposed to make it because there was all that talk about there might be a LeBron versus finals,
and that's when he took his jersey off at the end of the Celtics series.
Yeah, he made the finals in 2007 when they played the Spurs and got blown off the court.
I feel like that wasn't that long ago, but it really is.
It was.
I think I'm thinking of when he took off his jersey as a final. As it was the end.
Yeah, when they lost to the Celtics.
Yeah,
he missed a lot of free throws that game. He had like an elbow issue or whatever. I didn't like LeBron back then, so he was an immature child to me. But that wraps.
Again, I think it's just another it's because it's LeBron. If anybody else says this, it's not a big deal.
I mean, it's not a big deal, but you have to have to talk about the what if, and if there's not any water to hold to, like if it holds any water. I mean,
no, I agree. I agree, it's a good talking point, but I don't think some of the stories that have been coming out the last week about it, how it's LeBron's hinting on leaving Cleveland again. He's hinting on trying to bring people. I mean,
I do think he wants to leave. I don't be surprised if he talks.
I don't disagree either, but they're saying it's he wants it immediately, but it wasn't
because the media, they just want clicks and likes and all that stuff.
I get it. They have to make a story out of it.
No, I don't.
They want to make a story out of it, but it comes out and it's bad timing again for LeBron after what happened last week, dude, the interview was taken during All-Star break and it just got released this week. It wasn't like he gave this interview and he got led into the question. It wasn't like he just voluntarily said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go play with these guys at some point."
No one cares about that. They just want their quick fix. They need something.
But that pretty much wraps up this show.
But I mean,
word.
Who wouldn't want to go play with their best friends?
Hell yeah, Melo's looking down on the side.
If somebody called me up today and was like, "Yo, dude, I'm having a pickup game," and I'm like, "Yo, who's playing?" And they tell me a bunch of names. I'm like, I have no fucking clue who any of those guys are besides you. And if you guys called me and said, yo, I'm having a pickup game today with us two, Jim, Tim, everybody's coming, I'm like, I'm going to play in that game because my friends are there.
Hey, Burger, guess what?
Exactly.
We're playing ball at 1:30. You coming?
Maybe.
Wow. I love it. Now, Devin Jakowski's is going to be there. Graham.
What the hell? This is the weekend you bring everybody, right? You're a bunch of fags. I hate you.
Bro, if you leave now, you could get to the game on time.
Yeah, it's only an hour.
Yeah, right. Hell no.
Speed limit.
Speed
Speed limit means nothing.
Obviously, why did I pull you over? I'm trying to get this basketball.
I got a game. Oh, you play for a pro team? Nah, it's a pickup game.
All right, police escort all the way to
game in the bird. Come on now, I got to get there.
At North Park Elementary School. Lit. All right, that wraps up this show. Thank you guys for tuning in. This video will be on YouTube either later this afternoon or early tomorrow morning. The links to our Twitter bios will be in the link description below. If you're watching this on YouTube, like or subscribe if you liked what we talked about. If you're watching this on Blab, thank you for tuning in to us live. We will be back again next week at 11:30 a.m. for episode 8. Burger, Leroy, pleasure as always.
Yes, sir.